Pumpkin Moonshine by Tasha Tudor. Sylvie Ann was visiting her grandmummy in Connecticut. It was Halloween, and Sylvie wanted to make pumpkin moonshine, so she put on her bonnet and started out for the cornfield to find the very finest and largest pumpkin. The cornfield was on top of a hill, quite away from the house, so Sylvie took Wiggy for company. The hill was very steep. It made Sylvie and Wiggy puff like steam engines. When they reached the field, Sylvie looked among the shocks of corn for the fattest pumpkin. Way across the field she found such a fine one. It was so big Sylvie couldn't lift it, so instead she rolled it across the field, just the way you roll big snowballs in the wintertime. But when Sylvie and Wiggy and the pumpkin came to the edge of the field where the ground sloped down into the barnyard below, the pumpkin began to run away. It leapt over stones and bushes, bumpity bump bump, faster and faster down the hill, with Sylvie and Wiggy rushing after it. It frightened the goats. It terrified the hens. It enraged the geese as it tore into the barnyard at a truly dreadful speed. But worst of all, it bumped right into Mr. Hempelscamp, who was carrying a pail full of whitewash. It didn't stop till it hit the side of the house, ker-thumpity-dippity-dump-thump. Sylvie Ann was a very polite little girl, so of course she helped Mr. Hempelscamp to his feet before going after the pumpkin. She apologized to the goats and poultry too. Then Sylvie went to her grandpop and told him what happened. So he came out and cut the top off of that runaway pumpkin. Sylvie scooped all the seeds and the pulp out. Then Grandpa made eyes and a nose and a big grinning mouth with horrid crooked teeth. It was evening by then, so they put a lighted candle inside the pumpkin to make him look as fierce and horrid as a true pumpkin moonshiner should. Sylvie and Grandpa put the pumpkin moonshiner on the front gate post. Then they hid in the bushes to watch how terrified the passers-by would be by the sight of their fierce pumpkin moonshiner. They had a wonderful time. Sylvie Ann saved the pumpkin seeds. Next spring she planted them. The vines grew up and ran all over the cornfield with lots of pumpkins on them, just waiting to be made into pumpkin pies and pumpkin moonshiners to please good little girls like Sylvie Ann. The end.